Hello, my name is Steve. I'm going to do a brief LIMU training sharing 5 LIMU tips using 5 biblical examples in under 5 minutes. So here we go. The first one's taken from the book of Matthew chapter 13. It's known as the parable of the sower. Jesus said this man went out to sow some seed. He said some of that seed fell by the wayside. That is, it fell on the road, and Jesus said the birds of the air came down and devoured it immediately. Then Jesus said that some of that seed fell among stony ground. And he said it began to grow up. He said, but it didn't have a whole lot of dirt in it, so when the sun came out, it scorched it and it withered away. And then he said that some of that seed fell among thorns. Had good dirt, started growing. But as it started growing, Jesus says the thorns choked it out. Then Jesus said that some of that seed fell among good ground. And he said it produced some 30-fold, some 60-fold, some 100-fold. So you see, we got to be out sowing the LIMU seed. For example, when we sow the LIMU seed, some of it's going to fall by the wayside. That is, some people just are not going to listen, and it's going to get devoured immediately. And some of that seed's going to fall among stony ground. That is, there are going to be some people who join your team, but they're not going to have much depth, and they're going to wither away quickly. And then some of those seeds are going to fall among the thorns. That is, they're going to join your team, and they might become a 2K or even a 5K, but then negativity is going to set in, and it's going to choke them out. And then some of that seed is going to fall on good ground. It's going to produce 30 people on your team, 60 people on your team, 100 people on your team. So you see, we must be out sowing the LIMU seed. The second one is known as the parable of the mustard seed. It's also found in Matthew chapter 13. Jesus says that the mustard seed is the smallest seed there is. And he said this man planted it out in his field, and it began growing. And he said it started growing up, and he said it became so big of a tree that the birds of the air came down and made nests in that tree. You see, that's how it is with LIMU. The people you think are not going to do that well with it could grow up and be one of your biggest teams. So we got to be out sowing the LIMU seed. The third one is found in Luke chapter 14. It's known as the parable of the great supper party. Jesus said this man invited a bunch of people to come to his party. And guess what? That's right, nobody shows up. So what does the man do? He doesn't cancel his party. He invites some more people, and they showed up. And then the Bible says he invited some more people, and they showed up. You see, that's how we have to be with LIMU, because you're going to invite some people to the party, and they're not going to show up. But the party must go on. The fourth one is also found in the book of Matthew chapter 13. It's known as the parable of the hidden treasure. Jesus tells about a man that was out in the field, and he found this treasure. So Jesus says he goes and gets the money and buys that field so he can have that treasure. You see, that's how we have to share LIMU. We have to share it in a way that people understand it is a great treasure worth having. The fifth one and last one, I'm going to tell you a story about 2 brothers, Andrew and Peter. Andrew was the shy guy, and Peter was the one that could talk. Well, the Bible says that Andrew goes and gets Peter and takes Peter to Jesus, and then he just kind of gets out of the way and lets Jesus share his story with Peter. Well, Peter got it, and Peter went on to be a spokesman. But check it out. Andrew and Peter got the same reward, even though all Andrew did was take Peter to Jesus. Another good example of Andrew is one time Jesus was out in the field teaching over 5,000 people, and it got to the end of the day, and they was wondering how they was going to feed everybody. So Andrew goes and gets this young boy that's got 2 fish and 5 loaves, brings him to Jesus, and then Andrew gets out of the way, and then Jesus feeds all 5,000. But check it out. Oh, Andrew got his fill of fish and bread that day too, simply because he brought that young boy to Jesus. So you see, you can be the shyest person on earth and still be successful in LIMU. All you got to do is bring somebody to the party or bring somebody to a one-on-one and let somebody share their story with them. If these 5 LIMU tips using 5 biblical examples and under 5 minutes are helpful to you, I hope you'll share them with someone. And let us all always remember the words of Jesus when he said, "It's more blessed to give than it is to receive."